Nothing is business as usual. The volume and resources required to manage this amount of sick people are stretched even now. We're always surge planning for the next level. So it's 7:30 in the morning. Just heading off to work. That's late for me. Usually I try to get there by 7:30. This is actually calculated. This is the 99th day of the pandemic for my department. Can't believe it's nearly 100 days. Yesterday we had a fourth physician diagnosed with COVID. So that'd be another physician out of action for about 10 to 14 days. So my day would start in the office usually, because again, one of the challenges of leading a frontline service in COVID is ensuring that all the requirements for effective care, the effective fight at the front line, are actually in place. After the office work is done, I'll don PPEs and head to the shop floor to see how things are going. Okay, off we go. So today started pretty busy. We started off with a cardiac arrest, and the whole place is literally full of sick patients, every single bed.
And we've just started the fentanyl now. I've told them to give him 25 of Rocky.
That's Ruben giving a handover to the transfer physician who's going to take the patient to ICU. So heading off to another meeting to try to refine our CT and X-ray workflows. It's actually quite nice to get out of the ED for a bit, get some steps in and see some sunshine, because it's one of the things in an ED you see very little outward light. Let's finish planning our weekend strategy for patients. Now I'll just go and get ready to do a final round before I head home, and then I'll be back tomorrow or the day after. So a patient like this, who's obviously breathless on arrival, would get a full work. Her initial vital signs show that her oxygen levels are normal. However, you can have normal oxygen levels and be on the cusp of getting worse. So she will get a full workup, including a CT scan of the chest, and we'll get an idea of whether there is any evidence of COVID affecting the lungs, and that will guide the further care of the patient. With COVID, you're looking at respiratory rate and oxygen saturation, some levels of blood tests, and the appearance of the X-ray. These are the things which guide our sort of decisions when it comes to deciding how sick is a patient. So it's 6 o'clock. Finally heading home. Finally home. I'll also get to relax a bit. You always remain a bit. You always remain thinking about the department. At the moment, the work is so extreme that you never quite 100% relax. You sort of dream of it at night. But as much as possible, I try to take a day off on Friday if I can. At least get to see my kids properly. and then and hopefully we'll get through another weekend.